This is Bluebook 4 Reading and Writing Module 1, Question 9. Which choice best states the main idea of the text? So now for the passage. Also, for these questions, the blurbs at the beginning are super helpful because they give us a lot of context, so we're going to read that as well. The following text is adapted from Jack London's 1903 novel, The Call of the Wild. Buck is a sled dog living with John Thornton in Yukon, Canada. Thornton alone held Buck. The rest of mankind was as nothing. Chance travelers might praise or pet him, but he was cold under it all, and from a too demonstrative man he would get up and walk away. When Thornton's partners, Hans and Pete, arrived on the long-expected raft, Buck refused to notice them till he learned they were close to Thornton. After that, he tolerated them in a passive sort of way, accepting favors from them as though he favored them by accepting. Alright, so remember, for the main idea questions, we want to come up with a dumbed-down summary of what the text is saying. So we can see that Buck only cares about Thornton and ignores everyone else. He's sort of unacknowledging to most strangers, and he only puts up with Thornton's friends once he realizes they're close with Thornton. And then afterwards, he only reluctantly tolerates them. So our dumb summary can be Buck essentially loves Thornton, and the rest of mankind honestly is like inferior to that relationship. Alright, so now for our answer options. A. Buck has become less social since he began living with Thornton. The text does imply that, he was less social with people who aren't Thornton, but we don't know anything about what he was like before he began living with Thornton. So this is outside the scope of the text, so this cannot be correct. Alright, B. Buck mistrusts humans and does his best to avoid them. The text says Buck accepts Thornton, and he's a human, so this can't be correct as well. C. Buck has been especially well liked by most of Thornton's friends. While the text does mention random travelers praising and petting Buck, the text never says any of these people have a particular fondness for Buck. We're told that Thornton's partners give Buck favors, but this isn't proof that Buck is liked amongst Thornton's friends. Again, we would assume that, but we have to stick with what the text is saying, and we're looking for a main idea. So this would be outside the scope of the text. D. Buck holds Thornton in higher regard than any other person. This is quite literally what our dumb summary says. The text says Buck views most people as nothing, and that he doesn't acknowledge people other than Thornton until he knows they're friendly with Thornton, and afterwards it's a sort of reluctant acknowledgement. Therefore, D would be the correct main idea.